This is a big fight. It's for the interim title in the heavyweight division. You're attempting to chase history. How much does that matter to you, that you would be able to capture this third belt, or is it just about winning the fight?
Para mim é muito importante, né? A gente está no meio da competição, é algo que ninguém fez e eu tô ali prestes a fazer isso. Então,
So Alex Pereira might be one win away from accomplishing something we've never, ever seen inside the UFC. But honestly, guys, the belt itself might not even be the biggest story here, because if Alex Pereira beats Ciryl Gane on June 14th at the UFC White House card on Donald Trump's birthday, he won't just be a champion in the third UFC weight class. He's going to probably complete one of the most unlikeliest stories in combat sports history. And that's a crazy thing about all of this, guys, because in less than 2 decades ago, this wasn't even supposed to happen at all. We're talking about a guy who used to work at a tire shop, who climbed his way up the combat sports ladder to ultimate glory to become a world champion in probably one of the biggest sports endeavors of all time. A guy who used to struggle with alcoholism, a guy who didn't even start training until he was 21 years old. This wasn't supposed to happen, but it did. Now, Alex Pereira is standing on the edge of a moment that could put him in a category entirely by himself. And look, just until recently, guys, Alex Pereira, he didn't even know what he wanted to do. Okay, this is a guy who relinquished his light heavyweight championship title because he was talking about the possibility of moving to heavyweight territory. He wanted to compete in the heavyweight division, and he did just that. Now, recently, Alex Pereira spoke with UFC on Paramount Plus and explained just how much this potential achievement means to him, what this means for his legacy, and he said that his third UFC belt would symbolize everything he's been through and the many difficulties he had to struggle with as an athlete, and for everything that he had to accomplish up until this point. So when you hear him actually talk about those kind of things, I mean, that hits home a little bit different, doesn't it? Because most championship stories, I mean, they start with some version of a future superstar showing talent at a very young age. That's not Alex Pereira, guys. That's not his story. And I mean, his story starts with many setbacks. His story starts with a lot of struggle. His story starts with a guy trying to find some kind of direction in a path that was just marred with giant trees all around him and a labyrinth, like literally a labyrinth full of thorns and any kind of obstacle you can imagine. And I mean, most people would quit under those kind of circumstances. Most people wouldn't even walk a few feet in front of themselves until they actually fell flat on their face. But Alex Pereira persevered. He kept pushing forward. He kept grinding away. And look, that's what makes this entire situation so compelling, because there's a lot of fans out there that are looking at Pereira. And I mean, you know, they call him Poatan. He has such an unbelievable, unique kind of like a fight style that really separates him from a lot of people. He's probably one of the best strikers in UFC history. I mean, look, his fans know Poatan better than perhaps maybe himself. I mean, they see the championships, they see the sold out arenas, they see the highlights, but they don't always think about how unlikely this actually was. So that interview that Alex Pereira gave to Paramount, to the UFC on Paramount Plus, actually brings into perspective what it takes to actually get to that level and the different kinds of obstacles that were in his way. Unbelievable how a man like Alex Pereira was able to persevere. I mean, it's absolutely uncanny. I mean, this is somebody who completely changed the course of his life after making one decision. And that decision was literally walking into a kickboxing gym. And from there, everything changed. He became a glory champion. Then he moved into MMA. And then he became the UFC champion of the world. And then he became a 2-division UFC champion of the world. And now he's trying to do something that he's never done before. And this is where things get a lot more interesting, guys, because I actually think that there's some historical significance of this fight that might actually go beyond the record books itself. Because if Alex Pereira, come June 14th, if Alex Pereira beats Ciryl Gane, it's going to completely change how people discuss his legacy. Because right now, as it stands, many fans already consider Alex Pereira as perhaps maybe pound for pound one of the most accomplished crossover athletes in combat sports history, and that's not even debatable anymore. The speed of his rise alone speaks volumes. It's absolutely ridiculous. But becoming a champion in a third UFC division would force people to start comparing his accomplishments against some of the greatest achievements we've ever seen inside the organization and perhaps even the cage. I just want you to think about how this all kind of plays out, guys, because just think about how short his UFC career has actually been. This is a guy who started training at the age of 21, guys. Think about how little MMA experience he actually had compared to some of the most elite fighters. I mean, past, present, and who knows, maybe even future. But think about how many skills he had to develop on the fly, what he had to do to be able to get his body adjusted to the different kinds of toils and rhythms and the different things that he'd have to go through just to be able to cut and make weight and to be able to grind out, right? To be able to grind out his opponents the way he's done so many times before, fight after fight. It's not easy. It's not easy. And at some point, the conversation stops being about whether Alex Pereira is special, because we know Alex Pereira is special. He's probably one of the most gifted fighters right now in the world of MMA. So we already know he's special. That's been established. The conversation actually becomes, where does Alex Pereira rank among the all-time great success leaders and stories in combat sports? Because honestly, I don't even know if enough people appreciate how difficult this challenge actually is. Moving through multiple weight classes. Like, I mean, for some, that may sound really exciting, but does it? I mean, when fans talk about it online, it's one thing, but I mean, for somebody to actually go through that himself, it's not easy. I mean, Khamzat Chimaev, I mean, he was a former middleweight champion. He took on Sean Strickland. He wasn't feeling good about going into that fight. I mean, there's a lot of rumors that reported that he might have even dropped. He had to obviously cut weight, but he might have almost had to cut 47 pounds. 47 pounds off his frame just to be able to make weight so he could fight Sean Strickland. And I mean, anytime a fighter has to go through that, like anytime a fighter has to cut or increase weight, that's a lot of burden. That's a lot of stress that the body has to take on. And it's not healthy at all. And this could be one of the factors, one of the reasons why Khamzat Chimaev lost against Strickland. But now Chimaev is actually talking about the possibility of actually going to light heavyweight. So, I mean, I don't know if this is the right move for him. I mean, that's a different story all to itself. But you should check out my video that we did the other day, because Arman Sarukian was actually trying to give Khamzat Chimaev, one of his best friends, advice on some of the things that he should do moving forward in respects to his career. But today, we're going to talk about Alex Pereira, because for Alex Pereira, potentially on the cusp, on the verge of winning his third UFC championship, and that in his third weight class. That is uncanny. That's surreal. If he pulls this off, there's going to be no argument, no debate about his pound for pound rankings inside and outside the UFC, 100%. Okay, winning championships in multiple divisions is a completely and entirely different story altogether. Every division brings about unique challenges and its own problems. I mean, different body types, different speed, different power, different styles, different threats. I mean, there's so many things that you have. It's not just your body being able to adjust with the lack of or increase of weight. It's how you adjust to the different kinds of styles and nuances that you're going to be faced with in the cage. that in itself is a whole different course. I mean, in heavyweight division, I mean, we're talking about one punch. One punch could end it all, guys. And it's extremely dangerous because we're talking about some of the most dangerous fighters on the planet who could get punished immediately if they're not even prepared. One clean shot changes everything. And that's where Ciryl Gane enters. This is why Ciryl Gane is such an important piece to this story. Gane isn't there to help Alex Pereira make history. Believe me, sweetie, he is not. Ciryl Gane is going to come out there to destroy. Ciryl Gane took on Tom Aspinall recently, and you know the controversy with the double eye poke. But a lot of people, up until that double eye poke incident happened, a lot of people had Ciryl Gane winning on the cards. Yeah, against a guy who was supposed to be the future of the heavyweight division. So Ciryl Gane's going to come in there, and he's going to come fired up. And if he's brought any of that momentum that he had from his last fight against Tom Aspinall, then Alex Pereira is in for a banger. So he could be the one man that might actually prevent one of the biggest accomplishments in UFC history. I mean, this could be the biggest moment of Alex Pereira's career, his legacy. But believe me, I mean, Alex Pereira is not going to be walking into any cakewalk here. I mean, this is not some ceremonial type of title fight. He's going to be walking into a very real challenge with a very real competitor, probably one of the most talented heavyweights right now in the sport. And that in itself is going to create even a bigger question, because a lot of people are going to be talking about Alex Pereira's legacy after this fight. If he actually pulls this off and beats Ciryl Gane, there's no debate about his legacy. There's no debate about Alex Pereira's pound-for-pound rankings inside, outside of the octagon or inside, outside of the UFC. But if he loses, there's going to be a lot of questions about whether or not Alex Pereira actually did the right thing about relinquishing his light heavyweight title to move up to heavyweight division, or was it too early? Was it too soon? Did he have enough training? Did he have enough practice? I mean, there's all kinds of questions that are going to come out of the woodwork, okay? So, I mean, I think we're going to be approaching a point right now where fans honestly need to stop viewing Alex Pereira through the traditional UFC lens, because most fighters, they spend their entire lives preparing for this moment. Alex Pereira didn't. Most fighters began as kids. Alex Pereira didn't. He started at the age of 21. Most fighters have amateur backgrounds and that stretch back years and years and years. Alex Pereira didn't. I told you, he used to work in a tire shop, and then at the age of 21, he started to take up kickboxing, and that's how his career started. But somehow he's managed to reach heights that a lot of UFC fighters who spent their entire lives in the octagon will probably never, ever reach themselves, right? So, I mean, that in itself is close to touching, right? Because, look, to many fans, it could be just another championship, but to Alex Pereira, this is proof of everything that he has worked and accomplished. The tire shop, the alcoholism, the uncertainty, the years trying to build something out of nothing, all of it, it all comes down on the line at the UFC White House card, UFC, June 14th, and President Donald Trump is going to be there. He's going to be celebrating his birthday, his 80th birthday, and it's also there. This fight is also supposed to recognize America's 250th birthday, so it's a huge honor. It's going to be a huge, huge platform. I mean, this is pretty big, guys. If Alex Pereira defeats Ciryl Gane and becomes a champion in the third UFC weight class, it's going to be one of the greatest achievement stories we have ever seen in modern combat sports as we know it. Not because of the belt, not because of the record, but because of where he started, because there are plenty of champions where he started. There are plenty of champions that came before him, but there's very few stories like this. So if you're enjoying this analysis, guys, please don't forget to smash a like and subscribe, hit the notifications so you guys never miss a beat. At the end of the day, June 14th is not just about another championship opportunity for Alex Pereira. It's everything. It's about completing a journey that started 17 years ago when he made the decision that changed his entire life forever. So now he's one win away from turning that journey into history. And now that might be the most impressive part about it all, guys. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Please put your thoughts in comments put your thoughts in the comments below. If Alex Pereira beats Ciryl Gane and becomes a 3-division UFC champion, where would you rank that achievement amongst the greatest accomplishments in UFC history? Let me know in the comments, guys. I can't wait to hear all about it. And in the meantime, don't forget to watch these 2 incredible videos. There's lots of great videos here for you guys to enjoy and watch. I'm going to surprise you guys because I got a great big story, but you guys are going to have to wait till the next one to find out what it is. The pleasure was all mine. Have a great rest of the day.